Hey everybody. So today what we're going to learn is how to add in loops, specifically a loop called a for loop, which means that your code is going to loop as long as something is true. The loop we already have in this program is called void loop. This is just code that runs over and over and over again. But we might not want that to be the case. We might not want it to loop all the time, and maybe we just want a section to loop a few times. So maybe you have a part of a song that musically repeats itself twice, three times, and you don't want to code that whole thing over again. You're probably going to copy and paste it, but there's a point where your code length is going to become important because it's going to make your file size larger. So what we can do, and I'm going to add a little bit of space here because I'm going to add a for loop right here. So this first section I'm going to have repeat a few times. We do this by typing in for, opening up some parentheses. Now we have three arguments that need to go in this parenthetical. And the first one is we have to declare a variable. We're going to call it I. It's kind of just tradition, kind of like where in math n is a common variable for some random integer or number. In coding, it's often I. And we're going to make I equal to 0. So it's going to act as a counter. We need to add a semicolon. And then we want this to be true for any time that I is, say, less than 3. We'll have this loop 3 times. So currently it is 0. The value for I is going to be set to 0 initially, and so it's going to run through the loop. And at the end of the loop, it's going to add 1 to I. And we do that by typing I plus plus. This is a C++ / Arduino thing where at the end of the loop, it's going to add 1. That plus plus means add 1. And so it'll go through it once, and then I will be equal to 1, and then it'll go through it again, and then I will be equal to 2, and then it'll go through it again, and I will be equal to 3. So as long as I is less than 3, it will continue to repeat itself. So it'll go through it once, and then twice, and then a third time. And we have to open up a curly bracket here because it's a little section of code, and end the curly bracket there. Why not? And so what's going to happen is this will repeat 3 times, and then it will play these 4 notes, or 3 notes after that. So instead of having 8 lines of code, we have just this 3 here. So this would be much more impressive if this part of the song were longer, and we would go through it a few times. So I will start the simulation, and then didn't even have to hit the button. That's weird. There we go. So that was hard to distinguish because all of the these 3 sections are the same. That was foolish. So I'm going to change this to E4 just so I can hear a difference. Sorry, I have to stop the simulation. I'm going to change this to E4 so I can hear a difference in these tones real quick. What's happening is it's skipping this part of the code and going right to here, but I don't know why it's starting so early. It doesn't really matter. Play. Pleasant noises. Very pleasant noises. Okay, so that's how you do a for loop in Arduino. This will be very helpful if you want to repeat sections of your song over and over again, for instance, during a chorus that is repetitive. That's it.